Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he probably was like, we don't want Kyrie to leave. Like, but if Kyrie said, I don't want to be here, he probably was like, fuck it, he don't want to be here.
You know, every time you play with LeBron, it's going to be a lot of media attention. It's going to be a lot of back and forth of narratives. It's going to be about a lot of spun narratives. It's going to be a lot of politics. It's going to be a lot of shit that a lot of people don't see in front of the camera.
Man, Bron dropped the marker and just lays back in his chair for about 10 minutes. Doesn't say a word. Like, just pissed off.
Hold up. What if everything you thought you knew about the Kyrie Irving and LeBron James breakup was way off the mark? What if the whole story about LeBron being shattered by Kyrie leaving was actually a smooth PR play cooked up to make him look like the wounded hero? And what if 3 NBA insiders just ripped that fairy tale to pieces right in front of everyone?
I'm starting to believe, I know LeBron get people traded, but I don't think he be knowing everything. Like, sometimes he be like, he probably don't care, bro. Like, to be real, like playing basketball, you really don't care about other people.
Bro, Tyronn Lue went on Shannon Sharpe's show and dropped this dramatic movie scene moment. LeBron at his charity event, jersey in hand, marker dropping like it was filmed in slow motion, sitting there frozen for 10 whole minutes after hearing Kyrie got traded to Boston. Lue said the king was crushed, absolutely destroyed. But here's where the plot twist gets wild. Jeff Teague stepped in and straight up blew the whole story to dust. The former NBA guard, a dude who actually knows how players think when the cameras ain't rolling, stared straight into the lens and said what people only whisper. He probably don't even care, bro. He was already planning to go to LA. That line alone changed the whole conversation, and Teague wasn't finished.
There's video evidence of my teammates basically saying, like,
I don't think you can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that. You just hop on our bandwagon.
he's not ready, or
we have better players than him in his position already on our team, bro.
Or there's somebody playing his position, or we're not putting all our faith in the 18-year-old kid. My own teammates that I had to be on the floor with, practicing with, on the planes with. Like you said, you don't say hate, but just animosity towards me. And I didn't come in with that type of aura. I just wanted to come in and learn from the vets and put the work in.
He tore down the myth that NBA friendships are some deep emotional brotherhood. He said players are pros first, and once the lights go off, it's a whole different world behind those closed doors. Then there's Rob Parker, the dude who's been calling out LeBron's staged reactions for years. He's been saying LeBron's emotions are calculated moves, not raw feelings, and now all this new info is making his takes sound more real than ever. Let's break down the clues that have been sitting right in front of everybody's face this whole time.
Once again, if he had enough rings to be considered the greatest, it would be okay. This is a typical LeBron. He doesn't feel like he's going to get there, and that's going to be held against him, so now he's going to downplay the ring. He's talking about winning rings, because that's what he wanted to win.
Kyrie went live on Twitch and dropped a quiet truth bomb. He said, when you're playing with somebody like Bron, it's a different animal. He talked about how the expectations shoot through the roof, how the spotlight gets blinding, and how the media starts twisting every little thing into some wild storyline. He even said the league politics behind the scenes are way deeper than fans ever get to see. Now look at the real timeline. LeBron already knew the Kevin Durant Warriors were basically untouchable. He saw Cleveland's title window closing fast. And according to Teague, LeBron already had his next move in his pocket. He said Bron was basically on that vibe like, I'm heading to LA regardless. He made it sound like the king had his exit plan locked in before Kyrie ever demanded a trade. But here's where it gets crazy. What if LeBron actually wanted Kyrie gone? Think about it for a second. From a strategic angle, it makes way too much sense.
So he's had AD and Luka on his squad, and he's 2-12 in the NBA playoffs. And he looked all of 40 last night. I got one message to LeBron James. A, you deserve all of this because you keep messing around with the teammates, the roster. At least you won a championship with AD. Messing around with the roster, messing around with the coaches. Told Darvin Ham, who took you to the Western Conference Finals and won an in-season tournament, you'll hang a banner. He was no good. You get your podcast partner, JJ Redick, with no experience.
If Cleveland was about to get smashed by the Warriors super team, Bron needed a storyline to protect his image. And what's the easiest one to sell? My co-star walked out on me. That story makes LeBron look like the abandoned hero instead of the guy who saw the ending coming. Ty Lue said he begged Kyrie to stay, comparing the situation to Kobe and Shaq. But what if Lue was the only one begging? What if Bron was sitting there quietly letting the drama unfold while he lined up his Hollywood landing spot?
With somebody like Bron or somebody that you guys like to compare him to, it's a different animal. It's a different journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're automatically expected to be at the top of the charts, the top of the league. You know, every time you play with Bron, it's going to be a lot of media attention. It's going to be a lot of back and forth of narratives. It's going to be about a lot of spun narratives. It's going to be a lot of politics. It's going to be a lot of shit that a lot of people don't see in front of the camera.
Kyrie takes the heat, Bron leaves clean. That's a wild chess move right there. And don't forget who we're talking about. This is the same LeBron who planned out The Decision, who built the Miami super team, who timed his Cleveland return with a perfectly crafted Sports Illustrated letter. Every move this man makes is calculated. This man never makes a move without a blueprint, and you know it. Every step LeBron takes is mapped out like he's playing 4D chess while everyone else is still learning the basics. Now check what really went down behind the scenes in Cleveland that final year. Reports said Kyrie was getting more and more frustrated with how the team was running things. But here's the wild part. Nobody ever asks how LeBron actually responded to all that pressure. Did he put in that real leadership work? Did he pull Kyrie aside for those raw, honest talks that great duos usually have? Or did he just let everything crumble in slow motion? This is where Jeff Teague's bombshell hits perfectly. He said straight up that players don't care about teammates the way fans imagine. And when you look at LeBron's whole history, that statement feels way too real.
Come sit next to Bron. We sitting there, handling the phone, Sports Center. Kyrie Irving's just been traded to the Boston Celtics. Man, Bron dropped the marker and just lays back in his chair for about 10 minutes. Doesn't say a word, like just pissed off. And Bron was crushed. And I saw when that happened, I thought things would I thought Bron would do something different, sooner than later, and that's what he did.
So you believe LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland had Kyrie stayed in Cleveland?
Yes, I think so.
Damn.
This is the same dude who switched teams 4 different times, each one time perfectly to boost his brand, chase a title, or reshape his legacy. But here's where the story goes from strategic to downright sneaky. Teague slipped in that LeBron already knew his plan. LA was the destination all along. That means Bron wasn't reacting to Kyrie leaving. He was already setting up his Los Angeles move while still smiling for Cleveland cameras like everything was peaceful. And bro, here's the smoking gun nobody dares talk about. The moment Kyrie got traded, LeBron's camp magically leaked that dramatic marker drop moment. The perfect emotional scene.
I applaud Kyrie. I think this is if this trade does happen and he gets to go to another team, I will give him a lot of credit for bucking the trend that LeBron started, which is piling up, going to play with all these super teams just to win a championship. Here's a guy saying, first of all, I have a championship in my pocket. And he didn't hitch onto LeBron's wagon to get it. He made the big shot to win that championship for Cleveland.
Within hours, the world heard the story of LeBron sitting frozen in shock, staring at nothing like he was in a sad movie. You expect me to believe that got out by accident? Come on. That's not raw emotion. That's elite level image control. That's PR chess. You really think a man who's supposedly heartbroken tells his crew, yo, run that to the media ASAP? No way. A real emotional moment stays private. The speed of that leak screams calculated storytelling designed to control the narrative before anyone else could shape it. And Rob Parker? Man, he's been yelling this for years. He's been saying LeBron's reactions look staged, polished, performed. Parker's whole point is that LeBron hates criticism, so he stays ahead of the story before the story catches him. Every story connected to LeBron feels polished, like it came straight out of a media workshop, crafted to keep him looking like the misunderstood hero everyone's supposed to root for.
LeBron James has got to be pissed. We all know Kyrie Irving got traded to the Dallas Mavericks, but when you see that trade package, you'd think the Lakers were able to get it done. The Mavericks traded Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a first-round pick in 6 years in 2029, and a couple second-round picks, and they landed Kyrie Irving. They got Luka, their second star. I know LeBron's about to be pissed because this seems very realistic. Something LeBron and the Lakers could have figured out, and who knows, AD, LeBron, and Kyrie, they might have been able to win a championship this year.
But let's switch angles for a second and look at Kyrie's side of this whole mess, because his recent comments are straight up chilling. He said, "When I'm done playing, you guys will hear the real story." Bro, what real story? What's he been sitting on for 8 years? What secrets from that Cleveland locker room has he been protecting all this time? Kyrie admitted there was a lot of shade, a lot of things people don't see on camera, which hints at some serious behind-the-scenes drama the public never got to witness. So what was really happening? Was LeBron's leadership style way heavier and more controlling than fans ever knew? Were there power battles that went deeper than basketball? Did the environment get so stressful Kyrie felt like he had no choice but to walk away? And remember, this wasn't some random role player we're talking about. This is Kyrie Irving, the dude who hit the most clutch shot in Cavaliers history, the man who delivered Cleveland's first and only championship. He had every reason to stay and build a dynasty. Players don't walk away from that unless something behind closed doors is seriously off. Top 5 handles of all time? Easy. Kyrie's a walking mixtape. So if someone like him bounces from a championship setup, you know something behind those walls wasn't adding up. Now here's the part that gets real uncomfortable. The media acted like LeBron's personal security team through this whole saga. For 8 years straight, reporters pushed the LeBron the victim storyline without asking any real questions.
You know, when he go home, he probably like, hey man, we need this person, we need that person.
Yeah.
And then after a while, he probably like, I don't give a all right.
Nobody checked the timeline. Nobody asked what LeBron's angle was. Nobody investigated what truly went down in that Cleveland locker room. Why? Because challenging LeBron's narrative means poking holes in the entire sports media machine that depends on these clean, dramatic storylines to keep the clicks rolling. For years, the media pushed the easy storyline. Kyrie betrayed LeBron because it was simple to sell and kept everyone clicking. But the messy truth behind it, that never made the broadcast, that's why Jeff Teague dropping this honesty is wild. He's breaking the unwritten rule that protects superstar image building. When he said players don't really care about teammates the way fans believe, he wasn't being cold. He was telling the truth about how the game works behind the scenes at the highest level, and here's the crazy part. Once you follow the trail, it starts looking like genius-level manipulation.
Because no matter how much money you got, no matter how famous you are, no matter how many people admire you, at the end of the day, being a black man in America is very frightening, and it lets us know that we got so much further to go to be equal in this country.
LeBron James is not smart. He's a basketball player. He's reveling in pretending to be a victim. He hasn't been a victim at any point in his life.
In this version of events, LeBron gets to pose as the victim, keep his legacy squeaky clean, dodge all the blame for Cleveland falling apart, and slide straight into Hollywood right on schedule. That's a masterclass in narrative control. Now the whole basketball world is losing its mind over these revelations. Fans who spent 8 years feeling sorry for LeBron are suddenly looking around like, hold up, were we tricked? Social media is going wild with people saying they feel played, like they bought into a storyline designed to protect LeBron's image while painting Kyrie as the problem. Lakers fans are stuck in the middle, defending LeBron, but also wondering if they've been cheering for a perfectly crafted storyline this whole time. Cavs fans feel like they got double-crossed. First when Kyrie bounced, then when LeBron left, and now with the possibility that the entire situation was basically theater and the consequences of this truth bomb, bro, they're huge.
Autograph signing with jerseys and stuff for his foundation. So I come sit next to Bron. We sitting there, hands on the phone, Sports Center. Kyrie Irving's just been traded to the Boston Celtics. Man, Bron dropped the marker and just lays back in his chair for about 10 minutes. Doesn't say a word, like just pissed off. And Bron was crushed. And I saw when that happened, I thought things would I thought Bron would do something different, sooner than later, and that's what he did.
So you believe LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland had Kyrie stayed in Cleveland?
Yes, I think so.
If Teague is on point, it means we completely misread one of the biggest NBA breakups ever. It means LeBron going to LA wasn't the heartbreaking move of a superstar left behind. It was the strategic move of a mastermind who got everything lined up exactly how he wanted it. Ty Lue still believes LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland if Kyrie didn't leave. but Teague's revelation makes that sound like pure fantasy. LeBron was heading to LA no matter what, and Kyrie's trade request just handed him the perfect excuse on a silver platter. And suddenly everything makes sense. Why both of them have been so careful, so polished, so controlled with their public comments ever since.
Kyrie found out that after they won the championship, LeBron wanted Kyrie traded for Chris Paul.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, right? Wanted him traded. And I think that he found this out, and it cut him deep, and there's no trust. This makes sense on why Kyrie would want to move on and want to move away from the greatest player on the planet.
Kyrie later said, "I had to call Bron and tell him I apologize for being that young player that wanted everything at his fingertips." But here's the real question. Was that straight up remorse? Or was it both of them keeping the storyline clean so nobody looked bad? Because the timing and tone sound way too perfect to be random. Now the truth is slipping out, and it's way messier than anybody expected. Jeff Teague just exposed what might be the biggest myth in modern NBA history, and it forces everybody to rethink what they believed about loyalty, friendship, and how these superstars really move behind the scenes.
Like, to be real, like playing basketball, you really don't care about other people. You honestly don't. Mook, you know that.
No, we don't. But Bron, his situation a little different.
LeBron James, the king of narrative control, might have pulled off his greatest performance ever. Not on the hardwood, but in the world of public perception. He took a calculated career move, wrapped it in a sympathy storyline, and had the entire basketball world feeling bad for him while he walked straight into Los Angeles with everything going exactly how he planned. He got the city he wanted, he kept his reputation clean, and he walked away looking like the heartbroken hero instead of the architect behind the whole situation. So the real question isn't whether Bron and Kyrie will ever team up again. The real question is whether we can trust anything these superstar statements claim to be real emotion ever again. And if you want the truth, they don't put in the official highlight reels. Smash that subscribe button and stay locked in.